This is a video of the algorithms that I use to permute both layers in a 2x2. For this case, where these two pieces are swapped, I do RU2, R prime, U prime, RU2, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. For this diagonal case, I do RU prime, R prime, U prime, F2, U prime, RU, R prime, D, R2. For this situation, where these two pieces are swapped in the bottom layer, I do R prime, U2, R prime, U prime, RU2, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L prime. For this situation, when there is a Y in the bottom layer, I do R2, B2, R prime, U, R prime, U prime, F2, U prime, R, U, R prime, D prime, or D, sorry, R2. For this situation, where I have two bars in the back, I do R2, U prime, R2, U2, F2, U prime, R2. For this situation, where I have two bars in the front, I do R2, U, R2, U, D, R2, U, R2. For this situation, where I have a Y in the top layer and a bar in the front and the bottom layer, and this piece on the right matches up, I do R prime, D, L prime, U2, L, U prime, F. And just the mirror of that, I do L, D prime, R, U2, R prime, U, F prime. For this situation, where I have the bar on the top matching the piece on the right, I do R, U prime, L, U2, R prime, U, L prime. For this situation, where I have the mirror of that, I do L prime, U, R prime, U2, L, U prime, R. For this situation, where in the back I have on the bottom a bar and the right piece matching, I do R prime, or R, D, L, U2, R prime, F, U prime. And just the mirror of that, L prime, D, R prime, U2, R, U prime, F. For when I have a bar on the top and the back matching the left, I do L, U prime, R, U2, L prime, U, R. And for the mirror of that, I do R prime, U, L prime, U2, R, U prime, L. And for this case, everything's opposite. Depending on a number of different situations, I'll either do R2, B2, R2, or I'll do R2, F2, R2.